Open meeting for Monday, February 3rd, 2025 to order. Charles, would you please, first order?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Item 2, public forum. Anyone wishing to address the board in public forum?
Yes, thank
Good
you.
morning, Gary.
Thank you. Gary McElhenney, Norton Town Road, which was nicely plowed this morning. Thank you.
Hey,
Just like to make because it's an agenda item and I know you're gonna set a new date for the town meeting. This is an agenda item, and I'd like to talk a little bit about the 505 Whitfield process. First of all, people should understand that there will not be a restaurant on that site again. I mean, this has been repetitive FEMA insurance payments, some significant losses. If I had known you were going to be here, I would have had you bring the picture. I mean, we got pictures of water halfway up the restaurant, and it's just impossible. The area has long been a target of the Plan of Conservation and Development. It has long been identified by the Land Acquisition Commission. 10 years ago, when I was a selectman, another selectman and I had a conversation with the owner about buying it. By the way, at a substantially larger price than it was now offered to us. The Guilford has a coastal resilience plan, and we are a leader in coastal resilience, and the ability to control this site will enhance that. There's been some comment about the timing and how this happened quickly. Land acquisition happens when the opportunity arises, when the seller is prepared to sell, and it happened very quickly. The restaurant closed, it opened. There was clearly nobody waiting in line to take the restaurant, and so the owner put it on the market, and we were second to get there. Interestingly, there was another offer actually slightly higher than ours. And my last comment is, while the price may be high, seem high to some, we are aware of various sources which could pay up to the entire cost. Nobody will guarantee you get it because the grant process is always iffy. It always depends on who else is applying at the same time, but we believe we could get a substantial portion reimbursed by federal and state sources, as well as providing funding for the next phase of use, which comes up to the second question, is why there's not a plan. When we get the grants, there will be conditions with the grants. And there's no point in making a plan until we know what the conditions of the grants are, so that we can conform to that and get the grant money. So I would hope everybody would support the process. I know in this room I'm preaching to the choir, but I wanted to make these points because a lot of us have spent a lot of time working on this.
Gary, thank you very much for that summary, but also for the work you've done on the land acquisition. Prior to that, the 8 years you served on this board. So I appreciate your perspective and your talking a little bit about the history of this property, and appreciate that.
We have a question or suggestion that relates to what Gary said. Is this an appropriate time to bring that up, or we're just receiving?
We're just receiving
Okay.
at this point.
Okay.
We can talk about it
Okay.
on the agenda.
Okay.
Want to write down a note on that one?
Oh,
Or can you keep that? You can keep that. Public forum, Deb, come on up.
I may not stay to answer that question. I assume that
Okay.
probably.
I'll get hold of you.
Debbie Denise, is 18 Sugarloaf Road. So I too am here to talk about 505 Whitfield. This has nothing to do with should we, shouldn't we. What I'm more concerned about is what the gentleman just talked about was grants. And I know that today, actually at 10:30 in Hartford, there will be a bill, Planning and Development Committee on HB 6831. And it's a work, live, ride. I guess that's the name of the bill. So my concern is that this may will not allow us to be autonomous. So if we were to purchase this property and then we were to ask for grants, that if this bill were to pass, that then we would be beholden to the state and that they would take over, well, that they could actually, our zoning regulations might not be applicable. They may say that we have to zone in a certain way. And I guess that is my concern. So I am wondering and hoping that our representatives from Guilford, who represent us in Hartford, would not be in favor of HB 6831. And I would say that if anyone is listening today, you might call our representatives to tell them that our town and every town in Connecticut should be autonomous and not have the state tie grant money to zoning regulations, that they could override local zoning regulations. So that is my major concern.
Thanks, Tim. Just a quick comment. I am familiar with that bill. And CCM, our trade and lobbying organization, is closely monitoring that bill and looking to defeat it. So it's ripe with some challenges regards to home rule, if you would. But it is one that has the attention of a lot of my peers as well. So, anyway, anyone else? Public forum? Going once, going twice, 3 times. All right, item 3, approval of minutes, January 14th, 2025 budget workshop. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Comments, questions, suggested change? Thanks, Gary. Any comments or questions, concerns? Hearing none, let me try your minds. Select woman Ruah.
Aye.
In the room? Aye. That motion carried. 3.2, January 15th, 2025 budget workshop. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Comments, questions, suggested changes? Hearing none, let me try your minds. Select woman Ruah.
Aye.
Those in the room?
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. 3.3, January 21, 2025 regular meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Second. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, let me try your minds. Select woman Ruah.
Aye.
Those in the room?
Aye.
Something to be said for consistency. Item 4, town engineer Janice Blasiak. 4.1, consider and take possible action to contract with Summer Hill Civil Engineers and Land Surveyors off the on-call consultant list for survey work for the Boston Post Road Sidewalk Extension Project. There you go.
Good morning. I did request a proposal from Summerhill, who is on our on-call list. And their proposal was for $14,800. Seems within reason. Our last survey project for sidewalks was the Boston Street, and given the length of sidewalk comparison, it seems like it's within the realm. Last time we paid about $11,000. This is a longer section, so the 14.8, and it includes wetlands delineation as well and mapping if needed. So I ask that you would approve us to move forward with this proposal.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second.
Comments or questions? Janice, this is clarifying. This is it's on Route 1, predominantly all on Route 1 from
Yes,
the
yes.
old water tower over to the East River.
Yes, it's right at the intersection of Boston Street where we ended the sidewalks, but the last project and extends all the way to the Madison Town Line, all on the south side of the highway. And the construction monies are coming from the state through the connectivity grant.
Great.
And the sidewalks for the most part, or if not entirely, be within the right of way of the.
Right, that the survey will help us determine that, but there's one section where we have a wall to construct and that, you know, we may or may not need easements to construct that wall. the improvements will be in the right of way. There may be the need for some temporary, construction rights or something. We'll better know that once we have full survey done. And the survey will be paid for with town funds, not with the grant monies.
Anyone else? Assuming all goes smoothly, when would we hope to start to break ground on this, Janice?
Well, once we get survey done, which will take a few months, then we have to design the project and go through reviews from DOT. So probably next construction season would be my guess, unless we're able to get something going late in the construction season this year. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Is there a motion to approve the awarding of the?
We're on the table.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
It's already on. Got it. All right. Let me try your minds. Selectwoman Ruoff.
Aye.
Those in the room.
Aye.
That motion carries. Thank you.
Great.
4.2, discuss and take possible action to contract with Michael Horton Associates off the on-call consultant list for structural engineering services for repair at the waste transfer station. Janice.
Okay, so around Thanksgiving time, we had a piece of concrete fall off the roof underneath the transfer station where the truck is and the hopper goes into the truck. So I called in Michael Horton, who's a structural engineering firm on our on-call list, to take a look at it and advise what we needed to do. Couple times they came out for inspections and we did our research as much as we could in the files as to how this thing was constructed. So they, at first we thought it was a bigger problem than it currently is. It's still a problem, but they have a good handle now on what needs to be done in terms of shoring up a deteriorated beam that supports the hopper, as well as to address the spalling issue for the concrete slabs that support the drive area adjacent to the unloading area for the hopper. So their proposal is to, do the design as well as help us with the construction documents. I'll do the front end stuff so we can bid this out for the repair.
All right. Is there a motion to approve? In a second.
Second.
Okay. Comments or questions?
This winter, I mean, is it going, will you have to shut down the transfer station to accomplish these repairs?
We may have to for a few days. It depends on what the scope of the design ends up being. I think they're looking at a temporary shoring situation, and then we can put, a longer term fix out to bid. And then when we do that, that might need some shutdowns. We'll better know.
Days, not weeks or months, right?
We'll better know. I mean, originally I thought we had to shut the whole place down, so I was a little panicked, but we have, I think, a better way of managing it, so we'll work around it, I'm sure.
And these expenses, like all the expenses at the transfer station, bit split.
Yeah, it's gonna go through the special fund that runs the transfer station. I have yet to figure out, what we have available, working with Mary Jane and seeing what we need to do for the actual appropriation of funds. So it's gonna be a work in progress.
When you know what the fixes are and everything, I mean, it's pretty old. How old is that?
It was
92, was it? Is that when the original agreement was made?
built, I believe, in the 80s. The facility itself, like what's currently there. Yeah, I think we have to start thinking about some long-term planning of, something new. There's actually plans that were in the file from the 90s of a new type of station on the site, like more with a tipping floor, as opposed to the outside drop and the compactor that we have. The compactor is also showing where we may need to do some repairs there. Our scale is, I had come to you a few months ago, but the scale needs some repairs, so it's an old
Well, that's what I was
facility.
thinking, that I know over the years, there's been a couple of fairly significant repairs going on. But I just don't want to, put too much money going to something that we know.
Yeah, this one's really like a safety concern, so we're trying to minimize the extent of the work to just make sure everything is secure and safe.
Anything further? All right, let me try your minds. Selectwoman Ruoff.
Aye.
Is, in the room?
Aye.
That motion carries. Just a quick note, the use of the on-call services, I think here's evidence. Normally, that would have required us to go out to bid for just these services as opposed to having these on-call engineering services available, so to avoid time and cost to issue an RFP for these kind of services. All right, 4.3. Receive submission of the annual report on the progress of the hazard mitigation plan to the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah, this comes out of our CRS recertification process annually with FEMA. We are a CRS community. We've elevated to a level 8, I believe, where we have a 10% discount to our ratepayers in the floodplain. But it comes with a little bit of work on my part. And I'm always reminded of what I need to get done. So one of the things is we have what we call our flood hazard plan, which correlates to the hazard mitigation plan. And that plan, Guilford joined the regional plan a couple of years back, and is kind of helped and administered by SCROG. But part of our reporting for CRS means that we have to kind of update them and provide to our legislative body an annual report. So that's what I submitted to you, is basically what I submitted to CRS, and I'm going to certify that I've submitted it to you. So my word is good. As you know, we have a hazard mitigation commission. I believe they're looking to meet, in the near future so that we can go over some of these mitigation measures to see, what the status is as I reported to you, and also discuss whether some should remain or others need to come on and things like that. So.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Approve it. Second. Comments or questions? Hearing none, let me try your minds. Selectwoman Ruoff.
Aye.
Mr. Room.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We have Pam on the line. I see, there she is. Morning, Pam. Item 5. Parks and Recreation Director Pam Gary, discuss and take possible action to purchase a new flatbed body lift for truck GU18. Pam?
Good morning. Yes, as I sent in my memo and some pictures for you all to see, the current flatbed's pretty rusty and we're looking to purchase a new one. And we are looking to get approval for the lowest bidder of New Haven Body.
Is this in the capital budget already?
Yes,
That's what I
fiscal
thought.
25.
Yep. Questions? So, first off, is there a motion to approve? I'll move. Second?
Second.
Second. Comments or questions? Straightforward, yeah. Been identified as a need.
Just trying to figure out,
Pictures.
the difference between the stainless steel and the aluminum, but I mean, everybody's going to aluminum.
Got it. Thank you for the pictures, Pam. They clearly validate the challenge in front of us with that body. Anything further? Any other questions? Hearing none, let me try your minds. Selectwoman Ruoff.
Sorry. Yes, aye.
Those in the room?
Aye.
That motion carries. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Yeah, thank you, Pam. All right, item 6, consider taking possible action on 2 affordable housing tax abatements. Apologize if that is. Okay.
We just do that at the end of the meeting.
Well, we've got Karen Kravitz from Seaglock Law Firm, which this is going to require a temporary executive session. So is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
And I'm going to be inviting Karen Kravitz and Pete Barrett into the meeting. And I don't see Becky again, but let me try your minds. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries. But as a result of the discussion and presentation by council as well as the assessor's office, is there a motion to grant tax abatements for the 2 properties requested? And one of them, the 12, number 12, unit 12, is would qualify for 100% abatement. And the other unit 6 would qualify for a 50% tax abatement. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, let me try your minds. Selectwoman Ruoff,
Aye.
those in the room?
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. Thank you very much. Okay. Item 7, discuss and take possible action on a resolution authorizing the first selectman to sign a neglected cemeteries grant application. I don't know if you folks recall, but this is, I think, our fourth bite of the apple on
Very
this,
interesting.
this grant.
Uh-huh.
And I want to thank Karen Quirshon, Joel Healander, and Tracy Tomaselli. But Joel and Tracy are our cemetery subject matter experts in terms of abandoned and dilapidated cemeteries. This grant can only be applied to cemeteries that no longer have an active working board or organization. So, and we, as I've said, this is, I think this is at least our fourth one that we have qualified for. So, and quite honestly, we're leaving the discretion up to Joel and Tracy because of their expertise relative to the history in this town. So, so is there a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
In a second. Comments or questions? Hearing none. Let me try your minds. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Item 8, consider to take possible action instead of a special town meeting date for the purchase of 505 Whitfield Street for Wednesday, February 12th at 7 p.m. at Guilford High School. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second? Comments or questions? The comment I will make is, hopefully the auditorium will accommodate the crowd. I don't think we're gonna have access to the gymnasium because there's events going on almost every night during these weeks. So, yeah, so if that becomes a challenge, we might have to figure out something else.
Do
Hate
people
to
have
say.
to be actually in a room? Can we go outdoors?
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah, if we light up the football field,
Yeah.
put everybody in the bleachers, but right, that might do it. Which brings up a really interesting thing. If we were to ever have a wildly successful town meeting and 20% of the eligible voters showed up, we don't have a facility to put them in unless it is outdoors. That would be 3,200 people.
Yeah.
We just don't have. So,
And that's the point where maybe you think that our form of government is we're outgrown it, literally outgrown it.
on that piece, I agree.
Yeah.
And actually, Council Pete Barrett and I have been talking about that and a number of issues relative to potential charter revision that we think we need to take a look at. So, okay, so we have a motion and a second. Let me try your minds. Selectwoman Ruoff,
Aye.
those in the room.
Aye.
That motion carries. Thank you.
Um,
Yes, Lou.
Just, I'm gonna just make it absolutely crystal clear. This is a town meeting for everyone to come.
Right.
And vote on whether to approve
Right.
the,
Not only vote, but you can express your opinion.
right.
And ask
Be an
questions.
opportunity heard.
We'll have Q&A
And ultimately vote.
as well as folks have an opportunity to present their opinions.
And the $3 million, since it's a bond request over $1 million, we have to have this.
No, we don't.
No, so just so we know the
no.
details.
Yeah, well, this is a good time to say it. I don't know if any folks will listen to, based on the voters' approval of the $10 million bond resolution authorizing the use of bond proceeds for land acquisition. A further referendum per the guidelines you mentioned, which is anything over $1 million, is not required in this case. What is required, because the charter still has the requirement that disposition of property goes before a town meeting.
Okay.
Sale or acquisition has to go through it. So it's good, good memory on that $1 million threshold, but that does not apply in this case. So, all right, we're good. Okay, next up, is item 9, and that is discuss and take possible action on a proclamation. Charles and Sandy, you guys are probably a little more familiar with this. Tim Geelan is retiring from the Guilford Savings Bank after many years of service, but also, I think, exceptional stewardship. They've grown from a little community bank to a much more significant player in the financial market. And most recently, they announced merger/acquisition with another entity. So, how many locations do they have now, Charles? Or Sandy?
I think
More
I
than
I
one
want
hand,
to,
right? That's what you
I want to say 8, but I'm not absolutely sure because we also, when I say we now, I mean the bank, have bought a property in Wallingford that's not going to be a bank, but it's going to be a corporate headquarters. So if you count that location, I think we're up to 8. And then there's 5 spots from the Eastern Community Savings Bank, all kind of around the Norwich area.
Got it. All right, and I was fortunate enough, I think we all received an invitation. Did everybody get an invitation last week? No, okay. But I was fortunate to get an invitation. I think Senator Cohen and Representative Rader were invited to the event. I think it's in March, if I'm not mistaken.
March 18th, Sean's a cooperator, so.
He's already there, that's right.
Well, there's the other event on March 4th. I don't know which one you got invited to.
It's
Yeah.
the 18th, this is.
The 18th, okay.
Got it.
Anyway, I was gonna say that one of the achievements under Tim's time was he helped to create the Youth Advisory Group, which was a spin-off from the Guilford Rotary Interact, but the bank substantially funded it, and now they continue to through the Guilford Foundation, and that's a philanthropic group of high school kids who raise money and then seek out not-for-profits in Guilford and the area that serve youth. And it's been over 12 years now, and it's a very worthy initiative, both for giving high school kids the concept of philanthropy and also helping the organizations that get the funds. So anyway, I'm an advisor to it, so I'm just giving a little plug. That's all.
You're entitled. Okay, there's a motion on the table. Let me try your minds. Selectwoman Ruoff,
Aye.
those in the room?
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. Item 10, appointments and resignations, 10.1. Act on a recommendation to reappoint Robert Berger to the Shellfish Commission for a term to expire on February 28th, 2029. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Let me try your minds. Selectwoman Ruoff?
Aye. I'm going to leave the meeting now and come down. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
we'll wait
Bye-bye.
for you. We'll wait for you before we start the next one.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Be careful.
Those in the room?
Thank you.
Aye.
10.2, act on a recommendation to appoint Scott Jackson as an alternate to the Youth and Family Services Board to fill a vacancy for a term to expire on September 30th, 2026. Is there a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All right, let me try your minds. Selectwoman Ruoff has left the meeting. Those in the room?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item 11, request for town property. 11.1, act on a request from Boy Scout Troop 444 to use the green and place a sign on the green advertising its Strawberry Social taking place June 8th, 2025.
I would love to make that
You
motion.
got it.
approving that.
You get that one. And a second?
Second.
Try your minds, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion
I
carries.
would sort of point out, there's been a little consolidation of some of the troops in town, so that's why this number is different, 444.
Oh, did they create a brand new one?
I believe that.
As opposed to one taking the other? Yeah,
That's right.
got it. 11.2, act on a request from the Guilford Art League to use the green and place a sign on the green advertising its fine art exhibit and sale taking place July 18th to 20th, 2025. Sign placement 7/6 to 7/20. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second, let me try your minds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. 11.3, act on a request from the Guilford High School to use the green June 13th, 2025 for the graduation ceremony.
One of the highlights of the year.
Yes, it is. Is there a motion?
So moved.
And a second? Second. Let me try your minds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Committee reports, the only one we would have would be Sandy, and she is in transit, slowly. Correspondence. I had one item under correspondence, which I just wanted to talk to the board about. That was the most recent letter from Dave Bolton. We had a series of questions in it.
Email.
Yes, email, rather. It wasn't all that email, but theoretically correspondence, right? I have been laboring about whether or how to respond to that. Some of the questions are pretty straightforward. Some of them are full of supposition and opinion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fashion some responses, and I'll share those with everyone to ensure that I don't misrepresent the thinking or the of the board in full, because it's clear that he's addressing it to all of us. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Sure, thank you for taking the lead there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you make the point that there's a lot of questions, some of them are intertwined. Some of this would be, everybody's free to express their opinions and make inquiry as they see fit. But sometimes things are easier in person, and the direction of an answer can inform maybe the next question.
Yes.
To have 10 questions, seriatim is not always the most efficient way to try and exchange information, but
No, if that's truly the goal, then
And
conversation is.
and what I want to be somewhat careful about is merely answering sometimes legitimizes the underlying suppositions and positions. So I want to be careful to that effect, and if need be, even state that in a specific response. Good. All right. Old business? New business? Public forum? Deb? No?
Oh, I was worried about that though.
the,
We'll talk about that.
the Hartford bill that you opened up with.
Yeah.
I received some communication about that as well, so I was going to look into it some more.
That-
Thanks for your input.
Yeah. I'd like to know more about
That,
that.
that bill has been of concern to a significant number of, as I said, my peers, specifically the home rule and zoning. Now, like a lot of legislation, best of intentions, potential worst of outcomes, right? So, they're utilizing it to try to advance public policy, which not everybody agrees with, so it's challenging. So, and that bill has been around for a while. This is, I think, the third year that bill has come up.
Oh, I
So,
didn't know.
yeah.
I mean, the name makes it sound like it's going to be as simple as trying to encourage transit-oriented development, but to the point of if it handicaps the towns and this town too much, make it a question or concern.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Someone?
A second? Let me try your minds. All in favor?
All right.
Aye, that motion carries. Thank you. Let's get it.
Marble